You get pulled over after just one drink, and suddenly the officer's asking where you've been, what you had, and if you'll step out of the car. You try to stay calm, but the questions keep coming, and you start wondering if this is still a routine stop or if you're being set up. I'm Danny Izquierdo, criminal defense attorney here in Florida, and I've seen firsthand how quickly these stops can escalate when you don't know the games officers are trained to play. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 common tactics police use during DUI stops and how to respond without making your situation worse, so you can protect yourself legally, avoid saying the wrong thing, and don't end up facing charges you could have avoided altogether. The I smell alcohol line. One of the most common things you'll hear at a DUI stop in Florida is this: I smell alcohol. Sometimes you had one drink hours ago. Sometimes you had none. But that sentence matters because it's often used to justify the next step of the investigation. And here's where people accidentally help build the case for the government. The officer follows it with questions like, where are you coming from? How much did you have to drink? When was your last drink? You need to understand this part clearly. You're not required to answer questions about drinking. You can be respectful without giving them a statement to use against you. So keep it short, keep it polite, and stay firm. Officer, I'm not answering any questions. That's it. No debate, no attitude, no explanation. Because the more you talk, the more material you hand them for that report. Now, once that smell claim is on the table, officers usually switch to the next tactic. Trick number 2 is the friendly conversation trap. This is the one that gets the most people. The officer gets casual. How's your night going? Where are you headed? You watching the game? You coming from a bar? Sounds like small talk. It's not small talk. They're listening for slurred speech. They're watching how you answer. And most importantly, they're hoping you casually admit something like, I only had 2. That one sentence can become the centerpiece of their entire case. So your goal is simple. Be courteous, but don't play along. Here's the clean response. Officer, I'm not answering any questions. You still provide your license, registration, and insurance, but you don't volunteer your night. And when they don't get what they want from that conversation, they usually move to the next step. Trick number 3 is field sobriety test are a setup. If the stop is going in a DUI direction, most officers will try to get you to do field sobriety tests. Walk and turn, one leg stand, follow the pen with your eyes. Here's what you need to know. These tests are subjective. They're done on the side of the road, and they are not designed to help you. You're nervous, it's dark, cars are flying by, lights are flashing. You might have a knee issue, a balance issue, an inner ear issue, anxiety, or just plain fatigue. And every tiny wobble gets written down as a clue of impairment. In Florida, these field sobriety tests are generally voluntary, so you can politely refuse. Officer, I'm not doing any roadside tests. Say it calmly, say it once. Now, could the officer arrest you anyway? Yes, but refusing can prevent you from handing them the extra evidence that's hard to explain later. And if the officer can't lock in field test failures, they often move to the next pressure point. Trick number 4, blow or lose your license. This is where the pressure really spikes. The officer says something like, if you don't blow, you'll lose your license. See, in Florida, refusing a breath test can trigger a license suspension. Repeat refusals can carry even more serious consequences. But here's what people don't think about in that moment. See, if you take the breath test and it's over the legal limit, that number becomes the state's strongest evidence. So this is not a simple decision. It's a risk decision, and the outcome depends on the facts of your situation and your history. What I can tell you is this: don't let the officer talk you into a choice by shaming you or rushing you. They may say things like, if you refuse, I'll assume you're guilty, or you're making it harder on yourself. That's pressure, not legal advice. Whatever happens next, the most important thing is what you do after. You stay calm, you stop volunteering information, and you call a Florida DUI attorney immediately to address both the criminal case and any license suspension issues. Now, there's one more move officers often try during DUI stops, and it can create a whole second set of charges. Trick 5, the quick look inside your car. Near the end of a DUI stop, the officer may casually ask, "Do you mind if I take a quick look inside? It'll help clear things up. It'll only take a second." That sounds harmless. It's not, because if you consent, you've just made the search easy, and anything found can become a new problem. Open containers, a friend's pills, something out of a bottle, something you didn't even know was there. The clean response is simple. "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." Short, polite, firm. If they search anyway, your refusal still matters because it forces them to justify the search later instead of you handing it to them. Now let's recap. And here's what you need to remember if you're ever in a Florida DUI stop situation. If they say they smell alcohol, don't start explaining your night. If they get friendly, don't chit-chat your way into a confession. If they ask for field sobriety tests, understand they're usually voluntary. If they pressure you to blow, don't let fear make that decision for you. If they ask to search your car, don't consent. And through all of it, keep the same strategy. Stay calm, be respectful. If you want the exact wording to use when an officer demands to search your car in Florida, watch the next video. Tips if cops demand to search your car. Because the right sentence in the right tone can protect your case before it even exists. See you over there.